Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to. That's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome to the CZ Studios, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today and every day, Monday through Friday in the CZ Studios. Here in front of this Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center, Mike, at the Patriot Mobile Ranch, and it's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. We are live on Facebook for you today, and I do want to point out we are back up live on Rumble today for you, so enjoy that broadcast over there. Have fun. Greg, I'll let you do your deal. By the way, how the heck are you, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good. Here we are. We made it to Tuesday.
No Fratelli's Pizza today? You had your fix for about a couple weeks?
Yeah, a couple months.
Have you done Texas Roadhouse lately?
No.
Ooh, why? Steak and baked potato from Texas Roadhouse sounds really good right now.
Those are really good, and we got McAllister's Deli around here too, so they make great baked potatoes also.
They, I've never had a baked potato from there, but McAllister's, I get their New Yorker,
Oh yeah.
They're a New Yorker with the, the pastrami and corned beef. Oh, good heavens, yeah. Get the whole one in which you don't eat.
French dip is good.
It's all good over there. All right, Greg, I'll let you do your thing, and then we'll get cracking. We've got Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, with us today, and we've got 3 or 4 stories that we want to get to it with him. So let's get fired up.
Sure, other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, you can watch us at AAR Mark. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, and select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yeah, that'll do it. Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, welcome in, brother. How you doing down in sunny Florida? A lot warmer than where you were up in Minnesota the last time, huh?
Yeah, brother, it is nice and warm, about 62 degrees.
62 beats minus 25. I know it was snowing like crazy over there yesterday in Minneapolis. Had some friends up there call me and tell me that, well, it's that time of year again. Ice cold and lots of snow, but that happens in Minneapolis. So if you live up there, guys, well, I'd suggest moving because of the weather and Waltz and Ilhan Omar and all the nonsense going on with that garbage. If that woman doesn't get locked up, and Greg, I would love to have that conversation with you, because yet again, we're going to see all the stories. We know she's corrupt. She's made over $30 million in the last 2 years, guys. $30 million.
How do you do that?
Well, you steal it from the taxpayers, which is what she's been doing. All of her little clique has been charged and convicted for taking our money, stealing it. Waltz is involved. They're all involved.
Don't worry.
I want to see somebody held accountable. Greg, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, don't worry. Pam Bondi ain't going to do anything. She's just going to sit there.
We want to see some arrests, Bondi. Cash?
Totally agree.
We want to see somebody locked up. We want to see perp walks. Americans are fed up with this. We are sick and tired of these people. We are over it. That woman had a net worth of $65,000 in 2020, $65,000 in 2021 and 2022, and in 23. And in 2025, she's got a $30 million net worth. I went in on that secret. Oh, wait. No, I don't, because I'm not going to steal your money, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And if something's not done, Bondi, you got to step up here, okay? You have to. You too, Cash. Get something done. Get her out of here. All right, Lee, let's move in a different direction. You have a great piece up. I covered it yesterday, and I couldn't wait to cover it with you. I was dying to cover it on the Sunday show, but I wanted to hang in for you, and I couldn't help myself yesterday. So I had to go there, because you were reporting on the former ATF official who's now working for Everytown, stating that she wants to target gun dealers. Tell us what you found out here, Mr. Second Amendment Foundation investigative journalist, the real deal, the Gunwriter, Lee Williams.
Yeah. Mariana Mitchum, she did 20 years with ATF, not as an agent, all behind the scenes kind of stuff, like she started out as one of these people that walks into a gun shop and makes sure they're not breaking the law.
Yeah.
Never had a firearm. She quit, and we covered her quitting, and then we covered her getting hired by, as you can imagine, Bloomberg's deal, Everytown. And her first story just published, The Supply Side of Violence, how gun dealers fuel firearm trafficking. And it's just page after page. It's long. She wrote it with two co-authors who both work for the New York State Attorney General's office. They're longtime Everytown staffers. So you can imagine, what are these three people going to do? They're going to target Donald Trump and his administration for its pro-gun stance. They did nothing but they used high praise on ATF under Joe Biden. They said, quote, ATF used crime intelligence to shut down known trafficking networks and identify the worst of the worst dealers. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the worst of the worst dealers. How about Brian Malinowski, who they shot to death outside his bedroom, or Patrick Tate Adamiak, who's serving a 20-year sentence even though he did nothing wrong. So much for their worst of the worst dealers. They came out with a list of bullet points for their story, brother, and I talked to a couple dealers. No one could survive these. No dealer could survive these.
Let's go
Things
through
like
these. Let's go through these. Yesterday, your story brought Angry Mark out, okay? And Angry Mark stayed out for the rest of the hour. I've tamped that down a little bit today. I've tamped it down a little bit today, but I left these bullet points out of yesterday's discussion so that I could cover these with you today. But let's go through one at a time, however long it takes. I don't care if it takes the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention to this. Their bullet points are, number one, require gun dealers to obtain a state license, in addition to the license required by federal law, and prohibit issuance of a license to a person who is prohibited from having guns under federal or state law, or who has a recent firearm conviction, who has previously had a gun dealer license revoked, absent extenuating circumstances, or where the issuance of the license would be a danger to public safety. So the first question that comes to mind for you is something we've talked about before. Revocations were up over 600% under Biden's zero-tolerance ATF garbage. And those people, are they now banned because their license was revoked under the zero-tolerance policy that Trump has now stopped?
They are. I'll tell you this. I spoke to some senior ATF officials who tell me they are encouraging certain dealers to reapply.
Okay.
So no, they would not be revoked. ATF knows what ATF did under Biden, and I want to say to their credit, they're going back. They're talking to some of these dealers who got flummoxed for no reason, and they're telling them to reapply.
Okay, the important part of this to point out, ladies and gentlemen, is this is not ATF regulation. This is what Everytown and the loser former ATF, whatever she is, wants. This is the list of what they want to do. So everybody that got screwed under zero tolerance, according to them, they should never get their licenses back, period. That's what they want, right?
And some of those screwings under zero tolerance were so lame.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to do with paperwork. They put the wrong word down. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't be trusted. We're going to take your license.
50 years in business, now out of business. Family legacy, businesses passed down to kids, gone. Now, what about obtaining a state license? If you've got it's a federal firearms license.
Why? These states, they just want to get involved in the fight against guns, man. The states where I know they have their own state inspectors, like former Delaware and some of the East Coast, these guys don't know what they're doing. They're not trained. Yeah, they're given power to enforce a state license, but they don't know what the hell they're doing.
All right, do we need to change the name of the FFL to SFL?
No.
So do we need an SFL and an FFL?
Yeah, I guess.
Redundancy? Why? Again, ladies and gentlemen, there's an easy answer to this because Everytown wants to put them all out of business. They want to make it impossible and too expensive for them to be in business. That's their ultimate goal. That's what this means. This means, see, Angry Mark's starting to come out again. I'm trying my best. What this means is, folks, tell us we want to confiscate your guns without telling you we want to confiscate your guns.
It's exactly what it is.
It's
You're 100%
backdoor
right.
confiscation by putting these people out of business. That's what they're trying to do. They want to make it like Mexico. One dealer licensed by the government. They don't even want the one, but all right, we'll move on. How much time, Greg, how much time do I have? Do I have enough time to cover? Should I wait for the break? 30 seconds? All right, Lee, let's wait for the break to get a response. Let me just read bullet point number 2 here to set it up. require gun dealers to implement security measures to prevent theft. So hang on to that thought, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give you the rundown, specifically what Everytown wants with their newfound former ATF officials, who, of course, were not biased against your guns. They were just fighting crime at the ATF. Of course, making criminals out of you for what you already bought and owned legally and lawfully for sometimes decades, and putting you out of business if you're a lawful 50-year firearms dealer, and on and on and on. When we come back from the break, we'll go through this in detail with Lee the Gunwriter Williams, and we've got a couple other things we want to get in for the hour as well. Don't go away. We'll be right back after the break. Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed. CZ Studios fired up with you. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom here. It's the Patriot Mobile microphone. Yesterday I yelled it out. Do you have a Patriot Mobile phone yet? Here's my Patriot Mobile phone. If you don't, why not? Go get one, please. PatriotMobile.com. Use the promo code AAR. It's a great way to reward yourself at Christmas with a company that supports you, with a company that puts their money behind the Second Amendment and behind your values. As I said yesterday, still waiting for the big three to do that? Your face is going to turn blue. Don't wait. Go to PatriotMobile.com. Do it today. Use the promo code AAR. Get a free month and up to $500 credit that will be taken right off your bill. If you have to pay your phone off in order to do that, they will give you a $500 credit for doing so. So if you move 4 phones, it's $2,000 credit plus a free month. You're not going to pay a phone bill for a long time, okay? Take advantage of that great deal, patriotmobile.com/AAR. Visit that website and check it out. It takes 20 minutes. They're great people, all U.S.-based. Enjoy understanding the person that's helping you because you will. They're from Texas and all over. They're mainly Texas. You'll love them, and they'll love you. Lee the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back in, my brother. Always a pleasure, man.
My pleasure.
All right, let's continue on this with these bullet points. The last one was require gun dealers to implement security measures to prevent theft, including physically securing guns on the business premises, utilizing alarm and video surveillance systems, and installing security measures designed to prevent unauthorized entry on all exterior doors and windows. Now, here's how stupid these idiots at Everytown are and these boneheaded former ATF officials. Name me one gun shop that doesn't have an alarm system and tries to keep gangbangers and doesn't want to keep gangbangers and gun thieves out of their shop already.
Yeah, there are security measures, and then there are security measures. I know some that have opened up shops, small shops, where they'll have a huge safe, and they'll have a security measures on the doors and windows, but they put all the guns in the big safes. Mm-hmm. That's what they need. This is stupid. Anyway.
They do it already, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the deal. When the doors are locked, if you're trying to get in, that's called breaking and entering. You're committing a crime. Period. Unbelievable. For that matter, even if the doors are unlocked by accident, you're still committing a breaking and entering and a burglary. Okay? It's still against the law. You can't use this excuse, well, the doors were unlocked, so I stole stuff. No, it doesn't work that way. Criminals be criminal in anyway, right? Criminals be criminal in, period. All right, third point. This is what they want at Everytown with their former ATF officials now in bed together. Mandate annual background checks and training. Annual background checks and training, including how to identify straw purchasers and other indicators of trafficking for gun dealers and their employees. Again, they already do that.
And they know it immediately. Every time my buddy, who I won't name, has somebody come in who wants to do a straw purchase, he knows right away. Mm-hmm. They know right away. And besides, who is going to give this training, and how is it going to be required? To keep your state license, which they shouldn't have to do? The whole thing's idiocy.
Yeah, but guys, at the end of this, we'll just kind of wrap it up with really one important point. Again, this is what they want done, in addition to all of the other regulation. Yesterday, I asked Andy, and I'll ask you, do you know of any other industry that's as heavily regulated as the gun industry? We came up, there's a couple. Maybe the pharmaceutical industry, maybe oil and gas. I don't know. There's a few of them.
Nuclear power.
Okay. Yeah, you can go down that road, but remember, this is a constitutionally protected right. And they are already regulated like crazy. Every gun dealer I know, and I know a lot of them, they meticulously keep records because they know the ATF can come in and inspect them at any time. Doesn't matter who the administration is. So they're always meticulous about their records, which is why the zero tolerance thing was such a slap in the face, because we knew that it was designed to do one thing, and that was to go after them for making a simple mistake on a piece of paperwork that they might not have even known they did, and they find it from 5 years earlier. Whoosh, there goes your license. Next one, authorize a state agency or local law enforcement to conduct regular compliance inspections of gun dealers, prioritizing inspections of newly licensed dealers and those with the highest percentage of crime gun traces with a short TTC. Explain this for us, if you would.
You know, having been in local law enforcement, I know nothing about what constitutes compliance for a gun dealer. Nobody in my department would. I guarantee that. So you're going to have state or local cops go into a gun dealer and try and conduct an inspection of what?
Yeah,
I have no idea how this would even come close to working. You would have to take your local cops who have a lot of things to do and train them to the level of up to like an ATF agent and then send them in. That's crazy. Who's going to pay for that?
Well, they're not. Nobody's going to do that. And let's make this very clear. Every single cop that lives in my area shops at the same gun stores I do.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. So imagine the guy going in, and I've shot with some of them. They go in and make personal purchases, and they're going to
do.
Yeah, they're going to turn out 2 weeks later and go back in and try to screw the gun dealer. Yeah, no, ladies and gentlemen, remember, the vast majority of cops are friends with their local gun dealers. Some of the people that work behind the counter are former law enforcement for the agency in my area that are now working or working part-time, working part-time. That's right. So, again, FCC, just repeat that, Mark. FCC compliance. The only thing that I can say about this is if they're serious about this, and they must be because they put it out. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall, listening to these morons have this meeting when they're concocting these bullet points? Can you imagine that?
Oh, that'd be fun. Well, it would be fun.
Yeah, let's add this too. Let's get cops to go in, local cops, who shop at those dealers, ladies and gentlemen, they're friends. Okay? Next one. Require gun dealers to send records of all gun sales to state officials for retention. Oh, here we go. Because the federal government is banned by law, supposedly, from retaining records, let's put it to the states.
Here comes the gun list. Here comes the list of who owns what. So, God forbid, they get more headway in D.C. under a Democratic president. They can go and pick up whatever gun they decided they no longer want us to have.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is, again, registration. Illegal registration. 100%. It's already illegal at the federal level. They want to make it legal at the state level. And here's where this has legs as we go to the break, Lee. Every blue state would love to do this.
Oh, they would. Absolutely.
And that's exactly why they're putting this out, because they know they're going to get support from goofball clowns like Waltz and Gretch, Big Gretch and Hochul and the rest of them. Let's not even talk about Newsom and the rest, their ilk. Let's not talk about Ferguson and Washington and on and on and on. This is mind-blowing stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but when we say the left will never stop, this is what we're talking about. Good heavens. You don't see this on mainstream media, do you? Nope. I bet they'd agree with it. We'll be right back with Lee. Guys, that's mind-boggling stuff. Wait till you hear the remainder of this bullet point list. Whew. It just keeps getting better and better and better. Guys, we'll be back in under 2 minutes. Hang tight. Returning at 34 after the hour.
Us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show. If you can stomach this one today, this is brutal stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but it is, again, an indication of what it is the left wants to do to you. Not just to you, but to gun dealers, which impacts you. And that is their ultimate goal, is to put them out of business, which, of course, impacts you. And you can help us fight these idiots by simply joining the National Rifle Association. The show is presented by the NRA. And ladies and gentlemen, it's real simple. It's $35 for an annual membership. You can go 3, you can go 5, you can go life. You can do all of that. I'm just asking you to go 35 bones for 1 year. And I think you'll enjoy what you see from the new NRA. I know I am. I went 5 years, and I got to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it is a completely new organization. So please join us. The stuff that we're talking about today are the things that the NRA fights behind the scenes that you generally don't hear anything about. They're actively engaged in combating this nonsense. And in order to do that, it takes money and personnel, it takes time. And in many cases, it takes courtrooms. And we can't do it without you. Okay, please, if you can spend the $35, consider it a Christmas gift to yourself. Sign the whole family. Yesterday I said, jump into the kids' change jar, your kids' piggy bank jars. When my kids were little, they used to call them penny paint jars. And believe it or not, at 21 and 23, they still refer to it as their penny paint jars, okay? And, you know, if I told my son if I was going to go in and take $35 in quarters that I put in there over the years to join the NRA, he'd be okay with that. He didn't have to do that. I got him a membership anyway, and my daughter and my wife, and that's what you should do. Please join us, nra.org/AAR, and help us out here, please. It's so important, particularly when you hear these types of conversations. You can find the NRA and all of our great partners. We'll talk more about some other great sponsors coming up in the next segment as we get started with the final segment of the show. Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, welcome back to the CZ studios. Let's continue down this infuriating list, because it's hard to believe this, ladies and gentlemen, but it gets worse. It gets worse. So, Lee, welcome back, Lee. We just hit the require gun dealers to send records of all gun sales to state officials for retention. That means putting your name on a state list along with every gun you own.
Yep.
And I want you to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in.
They do it here in Florida. Floridian government would burn the list. They do that in Delaware, New York, California, elsewhere. They're going to use the list.
Yeah, not only will they use the list, they'll keep it in their own version of Fort Knox. Okay? Because they want to keep it safe. Because when the time comes, just like you said, they're going to use it for a reason. Why do you think they want it? You've got to wake up and understand. Do not believe what these people tell you. All right? Believe what they do and how they act. When they tell you they don't want to confiscate guns, go back and hear this. Go back and listen. Go back and read it. You can read it. Lee's got it at thegunwriter.com. He's got it at Armed American News. He's got it up. The story's up at Second Amendment Foundation. Over 1 million people have already seen it. Read it. Understand what we're talking about here. Don't just listen to it as an form of entertainment. This is the real deal. These people hate your guts. And they want to know who you are by name, address, and gun. Think about that. Next, authorize disciplinary action against gun dealers who violate the law, including mandatory suspension of the state license for a dealer who is charged with a disqualifying crime, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they will make up as they go along, and mandatory revocation of the license in specified circumstances, including failing to conduct a required background check, refusing to allow authorities to conduct an inspection, knowingly or negligently transferring a firearm to a prohibited person, failing to respond to a trace request, or falsifying records. All of those things are already illegal and will cost an FFL holder their federal firearms license. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's where they got this information, bro. But they just want to be able to take away their state license too, which is crazy. You cannot sell firearms with just a state license. You need a federal license too. None of this makes any sense. I can't believe in the months that she's been at this group at Everytown that our former ATF gal, this is the best they could come up with. This is a joke.
It is a joke, and that's a running theme through this whole thing, except it's serious because this is actually what they want. Ladies and gentlemen, these bullet points are what they're proposing when they meet with your congressmen and your 100%. Senators. This is what they're trying to get them to do. They don't just put this out there and put it out.
This is already going to happen in blue states. I guarantee you they're already looking at it.
Oh, yeah, and some of them have already acted on the state license and all the other nonsense, i.e. see California. Require gun dealers to provide information to gun buyers at the point of sale about secure storage, suicide prevention, and the risks associated with firearms ownership. So I'm going to go buy a new car, right? My daughter just bought a new car about a month ago because an illegal alien invader with a driver's license given to him by Pritzker's, Illinois, pulled in front of her. She T-boned him. She's lucky to be alive. They're now being sued, I can happily tell you, both his employer and him, if they can ever find him. Even if they can't, he's got a lawsuit out there against him. Good for her, good for us, yay for us, and too bad for him. But think about this. It was when you put this in perspective. Secure storage, suicide prevention, and the risks associated with firearms ownership. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, I guess you now need a PhD in criminal psychology to be a gun dealer?
Yeah. Now let me give you the bad news, man. Thank you for buying a pistol, but here's the bad news. What? I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, and
I don't see anything good coming from all of this crap.
I don't even know why I went into my daughter's stuff on that because I don't have time to go into all that. But anyway, I have to digress. I'm looking at the clock here. It's just whatever. Establish a minimal threshold for responsible business conduct by gun dealers and allow for, get this, civil liability if their firearms cause harm. Whoa, hey, hold on a second. Let's look at this. So they want to be able to sue Smith & Wesson or CZ or Daniel
and
Defense.
The dealer.
Now, and the dealer, right? Now, how would they do that? Let's assume let's go through any one of these points. Someone breaks into the shop, steals a gun, and it's used to commit a crime. Well, wait a minute. They were already on bullet point 2 or 3 supposed to have secure systems in place, which they didn't, so we're going to sue them on that. The alarms they had and the locks they had didn't work to keep the criminal scumbag out, so we're going to sue them on that. And well, they didn't tell them about secure storage, and now with the PhD and that they have to have, and all this other nonsense that they've got to put in place, now we can hold them accountable for basically anything anyone does. And now where I was going to go with my daughter, just very quickly, is we don't do that when we buy a car, do we? Do we require the car dealer? Let me just get this out real quick. Do we require the car dealer to explain to you how dangerous driving is?
Yeah.
You might want to reconsider buying this car. Driving is dangerous. That's where I was going in a nutshell with that. So, it just led back to that. So I'll leave it at that. You're smart enough to go there. You get it. Next. Oh, God, it's crazy stuff. Require authorities to prepare an annual report that includes information on dealer applications, inspections, and disciplinary actions, as well as an analysis of crime gun trace data showing patterns and trends relating to crime guns and trafficking. All of this.
Where are they?
Go ahead.
Where are they going to get that info?
What authorities?
Half of it. Yeah.
We create a new state regulatory agency over and above. These.
Florida ATF.
The Waltz Brigade,
Yeah.
Newsom's nasties, right? Pritzker's, put whatever word you want there that starts with a P after Pritzker, and have at it, guys. Okay, this is laughable beyond words if it were not so flippin' serious, because this is the stuff they are proposing to members of Congress in the Senate, in the House right now. This is part of their bullet talking points that they want for you. Not one gun dealer could survive any of this. They'd all be out of business, and of course that's not lost on them. We'll be right back. Guys, back in 25 seconds. This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back indeed, attorneysonretainer.us. I yelled at you yesterday. If you don't have this, you're making a big, big, big mistake. Next week, we're going to be talking about an individual that David Codry is. Well, hopefully we get this interview put together. The book is out, so I'll just let you know that it's a story about a man whose life was completely upended and almost destroyed for a self-defense incident that saw him charged with murder. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to get to a point where you write a book about what happened to you if you have attorneys on retainer that will help put this to bed for you for $35 a month. A team of up to 4 lawyers. God forbid you have to use a firearm to defend your life, ladies and gentlemen. This is the card you want in your wallet, so please do that. Just get it. It's $35. Please do it. Attorneysonretainer.us. Also, visit Bud's Gun Shop. Use the promo code AAR, by the way. Attorneysonretainer.us, promo code AAR. The new website will be up soon, and it's a good one. I've seen it. It's fantastic. So we're waiting for that to go absolutely just go live. You can go right there. In the meantime, you can check us out at armedamericanradio.com for all of our great partners, including our sponsors, attorneysonretainer.us, budsgunshop.com. Shop there. You've got time. Buds will get you the stuff you need before the holidays. Make sure to shop over all the great deals and all the Christmas specials and everything going on for the holidays at budsgunshop.com. Pick up some Barrel Buddies. And guys, not only can you use the Barrel Buddies, just 2 swipes to get your gun clean right there at the range. Put it right back in your holster. You don't have to go home and make a mess and hear that, God, that stuff stinks. None of that. No garbage, no patch. Their motto, pitch the patch. Use the patented technology. And if you do that and use the AR promo code, you can become an affiliate and make money in the process. And these things are only $14.98 a bag. So go take advantage of all these great partners. HeavensHarvest.com, Crossbreed Holsters, CZ, Car Arms, Patriots Relief. They're all there. And don't forget Mike at MyPillow. There's talk he wants to run for governor in Minnesota. I would love to see that unfold. That would be fantastic. Just get right back in their faces. I love the guy. So please support him. He's gone through hell over the last few years, standing up for your rights. We all know what happened in 2020. Yeah, Mike's been there fighting the fight. So support him. Buy a pillow. Buy something from him. Okay? It's great holiday gifts over there. Goatguns.com. Great gifts. You can do all your shopping and give memberships out to the NRA and pick yourself up an attorney on retainer card and everything else at armedamericanradio.com. Go check out all of our great partners and sponsors and support them all, please. This industry is hurting right now. Okay? Some folks are desperate out there. The industry's down about 40 to 46% overall. Our partners are doing great, but we need your support. It's how we stay on the airwaves. So help us do that. When you buy something from them, you help keep Armed American Radio on the airwaves, and we appreciate that very much. Many of you do. So thank you so much. Those of you that are on the fence, please get off the fence and handle some business, okay? Lee the Gunwriter Williams, could any gun dealer survive any of this?
I don't know. I honestly don't know one that could go through all of this and adhere to all of these crazy regulations and survive. There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts.
Let me give you the short answer. No, ladies and gentlemen, they couldn't.
Yeah.
And that is their ultimate goal. I want to switch gears here because this is a safety issue. And Lee, I talked to you before the show. You've not read this, and I specifically asked Lee not to, but it was a Fox News piece this morning, and oh boy, this is terrible. The headline is Louisiana father with heart of gold, in quotes, dies after rifle accidentally discharges during hunting trip. Now, let me make this very clear, ladies and gentlemen, before, you don't have to, the first thought that went through my head, I know it was going through Lee's head and likely through your head as well. Rifles don't accidentally discharge, ladies and gentlemen. And if they do accidentally discharge, whatever that means, they don't hurt anybody if they're pointed in a safe direction. There's no such thing as an accident in this case. You have an individual, 45 years old. His name was Garrett Verdon. He was struck by a .308 caliber round after passing a rifle to a hunting partner down in Louisiana. Horrible accident. His daughter put a heartbreaking post out. And I don't know why people feel they have to put posts out. In today's day and age, I guess that's just what people do. Okay? But my recommendation would be not, but they do anyway. He was walking to their hunting spot in Lafourche Parish, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm butchering that, for those of you in Louisiana, at about 4 p.m. on November 29th. And they had just crossed a cattle guard, Lee, when he passed him the rifle and it went off. The .308 caliber round struck him, killing him before first responders could arrive. Now, you know, I'm not blaming a victim here. Maybe I am, but I got to be real here. I have to be real. And if you look at the comments on this, the first comment, why was there a round in the chamber and the safety off? They were going to their hunting spot and the weapon should be not be transported in that condition. Basic firearm safety. Response to that, never trust the safety, just unload it. Next one, there's no such thing as an accidental discharge of a firearm. There are only intentional discharges. These comments go on and on and on. And those of you who are experienced handling firearms know this. Lee, when you hear something like this, what goes through your mind?
Pity for the family involved. I'm sure they'll find out what actually happened, and I don't think that'll make things any better because you've got a dead human being, and that's terrible. It's horrible. But yeah, there was some major screw up at some point, and the guy ended up paying for it with his life, which is so tragic, bro.
Yeah, let's put this in perspective. He passed a rifle to somebody with the muzzle pointed right at him. It's the only way that he could have been shot.
Yeah.
So he handed someone a loaded .308 rifle. I don't know what kind of rifle it was. Doesn't say. There's a picture of the guy on there with all of his training gear. You know, clearly this guy was an avid outdoorsman. And you have to question, why would you do that? Clearly, if you look at the man, you can tell this is somebody who should absolutely know better than that. But folks, reality is reality. He handed an individual a rifle, loaded rifle, with a safety off, with the muzzle pointed directly at himself. It's the only possible way this could have occurred, Lee. There is no other explanation. When the person took the gun, it fired. How did that happen? The person grabbed the gun with his finger inside the trigger guard, or something on him got a hold of the trigger when it was passed to him.
No other way about it.
There's no other way
about it.
I mean, am I missing something here?
No, I can't come up with it. You're taking a gun, putting a round in the chamber, closing the bolt, the safety's off, and you're handing it butt first to your buddy, who grabs it by the trigger, and it goes off. It's terrible. But there's a few rules that were violated. That's why we have those rules.
Let's read the rules. Number one, and guys, you've heard this a million times from us, but we're going to give them to you again, because this is just yet again a horrible reminder of what can happen if you brain fart. And guess what? You're human. Humans brain fart. I don't care who you are. Rule number one, handle every firearm as if it's loaded until you clear it yourself. And even if you clear it yourself, act as if it's loaded. Number two, never put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire the weapon. Number three, know your target, know exactly what's behind it at all times. And number four, never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to destroy. It's that simple. And if those rules are followed, this individual would be alive today. Lee, where can people find you? Real quick to close this out.
ArmedAmericanNews.org, thegunwriter.substack.com, but we hope you go to SAF.org. SAF is the Second Amendment Foundation.
And help us out over there too, ladies and gentlemen. You can join SAF, Alan Gottlieb, doing God's work over there, winning cases across this country every single day. Here's my motto. You know it. Carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would ever be caught outside his cave without his club. Enjoy your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow, guys.
You
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, ladies and
Hello,
gentlemen.
I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Slippers. They took me over 2 years to develop because I didn't want just an ordinary slipper. My slippers are meant to be worn all day long, no matter what you're doing, whether you're inside or outside. My slippers come with an exclusive 3-tier cushioning system that you won't find in any other slipper. It combines 2 layers of foam, including my proprietary My Pillow foam and a patented impact shell, U.S. soybeans. My 3-tier cushion.
Oh, I was listening to Mike and enjoying that.
Yeah, sorry, the engineer stepped in here.
I was enjoying that. Hey guys, that's the universe talking to us. Pick something up from Mike Lindell. All right, go visit My Pillow. Pick up the slippers. Greg, you've been wearing them? I know that you had them on the studio not long ago. Are you still wearing them?
Yeah, I wear them off and on. I'm looking at buying some new towels.
They are really comfortable, and those towels are really nice. I've got a ton of them, and in fact, I think that's all we have, and all my pillows at home are My Pillow. So check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Please, mypillow.com/AAR and take advantage of all the great discounts. So that was the universe working for us. Guys, join the National Rifle Association. Get the attorneys on retainer. Buy some barrel buddies. Support our sponsors. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. Heaven's Harvest. Get yourself a 3-day supply of food and have it on hand. Silly not to. You'll sleep better at night when you have this stuff, I promise. All of our sponsors, you'll sleep better at night when you have their stuff. I can promise, especially if you got the Patriots Relief stuff. You really sleep better at night because it works. All right, guys, look, enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. Vote for us at top voices of the 2A category at thegundys.com, Gundies, thegundys.com. I neglected to mention that live on the air. Seems really self-aggrandizing, but nonetheless, I would appreciate and love your vote. Please do it if you can. Thegundys.com. Top voices of the 2A. Don't forget Jared Yanis in the King of the Hill category. Diana Muller in Top Influencer. You'll recognize a lot of names out there, okay? Spread your votes around. You get 19 a day. Watch the video. You get another 19 votes. And if you share it, you get another 19 votes. So you can vote 3 times a day in each category between today and the remainder of what's left and the 15th, okay? Please do that. We appreciate it. Guys, I love you. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Stay safe out there.